Hey. Okay. Hello guys, it is me, Melody Song, and today I'm gonna be doing an update stream. I was trying to do one yesterday, but my streaming software, which I typically use, OBS, was not cutting it, so I eventually just gave up and left a message in the live chat if anyone was even watching, being like, hey, this didn't work. So this laptop has a Pentium processor, so that's kind of part of the reason. But other than that, I really don't know what the heck happened. Oh, shit. I'm going to get back to my game in a minute. I was just going to let y'all know, basically just a little bit of an update on life and such. You know, me getting out of high school doesn't really mean that I'm going to have much of an upload schedule. Might mean I can upload more, but I do plan on getting a full-time job at the same time so I can afford to move out. And chances are, because this is how most jobs are to newcomers, they're going to work me some insanely unreasonable hours at the start for me to prove myself, and then they'll start giving me reasonable hours to where I can be like, hey, I can start an upload schedule because I can manage work and this. But it's not going to be like that at first. And of course, I have to actually be confirmed by my school that I'm eligible to graduate. I'm going to set my phone down and kind of build a little bit. Oh, Jesus. Alright. I'm going to set the phone over here because that was unnecessary. Alright. So, if y'all are still able to hear me, and hopefully so, basically, I got done with high school, and I should be good to graduate, but they might try to make me do an extra credit, so I might either get out this week, or I might get out, by spring break. I'm definitely getting out earlier than the rest of my graduating class. It's just a matter of, am I getting out sooner than expected, or am I getting out at the time that they had originally expected me to graduate, which was just spring break. So neither of me or the school know the answer. So we're just waiting to see what the answer is going to be on that. And honestly, I'm really having high hopes for a chance to graduate because, I mean, it would be about time. I mean, I've been through so much. It's just time to leave. It's time to leave the stress behind forever. Never have to come back to it again. That'd be real freaking nice. I did get some elevator stuff, didn't I? I need to see if this actually works. Anyway, ignore me whenever I'm talking about elevator stuff. It's an add-on I downloaded, so just ignore that. In the meantime, so yeah, what this might mean is that I might have a chance at a steady upload schedule. And holy crap, I actually have the elevator. The elevator glass thing is actually here. That's new from last time. That's really new. Okay. Yeah, and once again, I'm just testing a whole bunch of things, so ignore the Blockland talk. I may get a little sidetracked here and there, but that's nothing compared to what I got to talk about. I am looking forward to hopefully getting an upload schedule going. It's just, if that doesn't work out because I get a job, I hope y'all guys can understand that, jobs don't always work out like that right away. Because you have to prove yourself before they start giving you the benefit of the doubt. Like, a job's not just going to start being that nice to you right away because I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of trust issue. It's like a trust issue kind of situation, really, if I were to describe it in the best way I could. And that's the best way I can put it, is like it's just kind of trust issues. It's like they don't want to be paying you such good money and then you like do nothing, you know. They don't want to spoil you, so to speak. And well, that's kind of fair because we have a lot of crappy entitled people in this world. I have seen them firsthand. I've also seen plenty of r/entitled parents videos to know how crappy these people can be. So, you know, that being said, you know, that me discovering that subreddit is also the reason I will never, ever, 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 ever take my laptop into public ever again. You know, I haven't had any personal experience with it, and to keep it that way, I'm not gonna ever do it. So that subreddit just basically ruined any chances of me ever taking my laptop anywhere because I'm worried that an entitled parent's just gonna be like, oh, well, you brought it here, so just let my kid have it. And it's just like, no, I spent like $325 on this. All right, and if you think that I'm crazy enough to just throw this away like it's nothing, just for your kid because he's got good grades, you're mental. Anyway, enough about subreddits. I'm gonna, like I said, this is gonna be a short and sweet stream. I probably don't have much. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to cover. I really think that's it. But a lot of you were thinking, wait, weren't you just working at CVS? And I was like, yes, but the difference between what I was talking about not being spoiled, and my quitting so early there is that the way that they were having trust issues was actually scummy. And I'll explain that right now. Basically, the employer, you know, I had a 197/90 blood pressure after one of their assistant managers that they refused to kick out, even though they know that she is the worst assistant manager there. I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are if you end up seeing this one day. Like, she is the worst of the worst. I don't care if you got a baby growing inside you. You are really terrible to me and everyone. Like, there was one time where I had customers literally screaming in my face to get my manager the hell down here, and you took 10 minutes to come down after I had paged for backup to the registers. And you took 10 minutes! Alright? And I had people screaming in my face. I told you, I have a problem with entitled customers, and considering it's my job to not shout back at them, you know it's hard, so you might as well just get your butt up there before something happens. But no, you leave me with those people. And I was really pissed off. And then, like, you know, that was also the night that I had gotten so stressed out that I got the 197/90 blood pressure. I just wanted a freaking day off to recover. I wasn't feeling so great. Okay? I had just recovered from a freaking high ass blood pressure. And you know what? And you know what my employer said? I don't care if you have 3 heart attacks, you're coming to work. Like, at that point, I had to make a real decision. Is the $11 an hour I make really worth losing my life over? Is it worth it? Because I don't think it is. I don't think it's worth losing my life. Alright? Because there are coworkers of mine that have to work with the flu. I understand that they're short-staffed and that corporate doesn't give a flying fuck about hiring new people to battle the short-staffed, but that's where the employer or store manager actually goes to the corporate hiring manager and says, look, we need more people. I don't care what you say about we're fine. We need more people. Say it all you want. We are not doing okay. Our employees are coming in with the flu, risking spreading it to other people, and while you sit back and probably get to have sick days and all that, my employees don't. But Dutch didn't care to stand up to corporate. which the only way you're going to ever change working conditions is somebody has to stand up one day. Somebody has to go on strike, whether it costs them their job or not. That's the only way corporate offices ever change their ways. That is the only way. History always can repeat itself in this pattern. This specific pattern, history has always repeated itself. It took someone going on strike for corporate to decide, hey, this is an unprofessional business practice. We should do something about it. And so, anyway, that's why I had quit only a month into the job, because, I had hypertension through the roof. I was feeling really sick. And then, then they were scheduling me on days that I said, no exceptions. I need to have these days off. Like, I cannot have any exceptions. My family will get pissed off. And they scheduled me on a Monday, which was one of the two. I had to have Monday and Thursday off. No exceptions. And then the person responsible for scheduling, which my employer can also override that, just spits in my face and schedules me on Monday. My employer goes to correct it. Now I got Monday and Thursday. And after that, I had a spare shirt under because it was like really cold outside that day, and we had just like finished an ice storm, so there was still a cold front present. Now the ice had mostly melted, so it was safe to drive on the roads and such, but we had just gotten through an ice storm. Cold front was still present though. There was some ice in the parking lot, yada, yada, yada. So it was pretty cold. I had a spare shirt under my work shirt. I took off my work shirt, threw it on the ground in front of him, took off my name tag before doing all that, and then I went to my car, brought in my other two shirts that belonged to them. I basically returned everything that belonged to them, and then I walked out and left, and they never heard from me again. Was that probably the most professional thing to do? No, it wasn't. I should have put in a 2 weeks notice, but was I about to let this fucker give me a heart attack? No, the hell I wasn't. I was really done after he said, I don't care if you have 3 heart attacks that kill you. You're gonna work. I was infuriated that someone would dare ever speak to me or ever talk down to me like I don't have feelings. Like, look, I'm not a sociopath like you. I have feelings. I have a heart. When people talk down to me, that shit hurts. It hurts, okay? Whenever people treat my disabilities like it's nothing, that hurts. That really, really hurts my feelings. Granted, you're not paid to give a fuck, but to, at least not purposely provoke drama would be, considerable enough. Taking things into consideration. I don't fucking know. So, and of course, as I'm driving home, after I call Dad, he calls me to try and call me back in, and I don't answer. I just let it ring. With my dad on the line and everything, I just let it ring. I send it straight to voicemail, because I'm just like, you're going to have to find someone else. You're going to have to truly call someone else in, okay? I'm not working on Monday, because I quit on a Sunday, and it was supposed to be the day before I was supposed to go in on the day that I'm not supposed to work. And I was like, you're going to have to call someone in Monday. All right? I'm sorry that, I was the only one that seemed available for Monday, but I really wasn't. I'm not available just because I'm a high school student. I have a life outside of school and job. All right? So for you to constantly pester me like that is kind of disrespectful. Like, I don't care if you are paid to boss over me. There's a fine line between getting my shit together for me and then just straight up disrespecting me to piss me off. And managers are not allowed by the code of conduct of any business out there. I don't care what the fuck you say. His actions will not be supported by corporate office. If I were to have actually reported that to corporate, to ethics department, he could have lost his job. But he had owned the store for 30 plus years, and I wasn't about to make him lose his job. I wasn't even worried about it. I had already left. I was done. I wasn't going to keep working there. I had to work 8 hours all the way to midnight. And like, you know, I live in a county full of meth heads, and the meth heads usually come in around 10 p.m. So if we're open until 12, the meth heads usually go out and about around 10 p.m. So if we're open until 12, that's a problem for me. So to avoid having to smell the constant smell of marijuana, and I only know what it smells like because, well, we live in a town full of meth heads and stoners. To avoid having to smell that constantly, I'd like to work in a place that doesn't stay open that long. And trust me, it's not going to be that hard. It's just finding the right place. And like, I've tried to hold this in for decades upon decades, but like, it's proven time and time again, the more I bottle up my anger towards someone who's wronged me, the more I feel bad. Like, and by feel bad, I mean like, I get stressed and sick. Like, whenever I go and publicly, like, disclose this kind of stuff, that's whenever I finally start feeling better. The chest pain or whatever stops, you know. I can finally feel relief. People say that venting is just overly dramatic and unnecessary. No, people let off steam because that's how they feel better. Some people vent because that's how they feel better. All right, so if you make a person like me bottle up my anger, it could lead to a scene to where I explode in such an unpleasant manner. The cops are going to have to be fucking called. All right? You can't make me bottle up my anger like that. It's unhealthy. And that's why typically whenever I go home after a bad day, my family is there to listen to it. My family is there to listen and support me and like listen to what I have to say because they know that if I don't vent about it, it's going to cause a serious explosion of anger. And how does my family know about this so well? Oh, I don't know, maybe because they've lived with me for 18 years. Granted, no employer in the world knows this. Half the people I've worked for don't even know me that well until I come into their business. That's fair to say. But it's just ridiculous that, you know, like with Long John Silver's, and of course I disrespect him because he pulled a gun on me. Well, he didn't directly pull it on me, but then he threatened to shoot me with it after he pulled a gun into the store, which he wasn't supposed to. Like, I don't care if there's a string of robberies. The store, if you're really worried about a string of robberies going around, the store is supposed to hire security. And those are the only people allowed to bring in guns to the store, not assistant managers. But he does it anyway, and I tell the general manager, he's pissed that I snitched on him, and he threatens to shoot me. Okay? I'm not having it. So I'm just like, Danny, please, in the employee handbook, list the page number, section, article, I don't give a fuck. Just list where in the employee handbook that it says that $8 an hour is more than enough to deal with your petty high school drama bullshit. Alright? You're trying to call me insane, but I'm not the one who stapled my dick to a fucking $100 bill. And yes, I still remember that recording you showed everyone after we all said, no, don't show us that. That's disgusting. That's technically sexual harassment, and it's inappropriate conduct in the workplace. If I was to report this to corporate, you would lose your job. And you would never be able to be a manager at any other fast food chain ever again, Danny. And then he went on about the snitches get stitches shit. And that is why my second job was not a fast food chain. It was retail. because I was done with fast food because I went on like malicious compliance type subreddits, and I found out that most of the malicious compliance from employees happens in fast food chains, meaning that a lot of assistant managers, the shitty ones, come from fast food chains. And I was like, yep, that's done. No more fast food for me. And I mean, and Danny, the roast I put on him, he was a legit drama queen. If something didn't go his way, he would legit do something and it wouldn't be pretty. And, you know, I don't really know how they felt, but, you know, whenever I told. But here's how I know that Danny's a problem, okay? Some of you are probably really skeptical about my story on Danny Overbay. Here's how I know that Danny's a problem, okay? 3 people quit within 1 week of him becoming assistant manager, all right? One was Mrs. K, another one was me, and then the last one was Brandon. And guess what? Brandon was not just your regular employee. Brandon was another assistant manager, and he quit because of Danny. He walked out on his job because of Danny. He couldn't stand Danny's arrogance. So don't tell me that Danny's not the problem if another assistant manager has to leave to get away from Danny. All right? And assistant managers in fast food chains, unless they're really, really, really shitty, are hard to come by. Even the really shitty ones, they're hard to hire because nobody wants to be a manager in fast food because of entitled customers. That's why whenever an employee kind of fucks up my order and they apologize profusely, I'm not all, let me see your manager. Even whenever I'm having the shittiest of days, whenever they fuck up my order, I'm like, no, you're fine. I've worked in fast food. I know what it's like. And whenever it's the cashier apologizing, I'm just like, bro, it's okay. I know that you didn't make this order. Someone in the back made the order and messed it up. It's not your fault. I know how that was. I had a job in fast food once too. And believe it or not, whenever you say that to a cashier, the relief on their face is just immense. Like, knowing that someone relates to them. Now, of course, I don't think that very many people, I'm not saying that no one can relate. I'm pretty sure that someone's even gotten shot by their own assistant manager at one point because their assistant manager was a legit nutcase that needs to be locked up forever. But I mean, I just don't like how he felt so entitled to ruin everybody's mood. If he was having a bad day, the entirety of Long John Silver's had a bad day. That's not how you run a restaurant. If you have a bad day, everyone makes it better, or some, if you have a bad day, you have a bad day. Everyone else has a good day, hopefully. All right? If y'all collectively have a bad day, nobody fucking makes it worse for anyone else. And if you do, you're just a cheap ass. Like, this actually enrages me just thinking about this. But nah. Sorry, y'all, I had to stretch. Okay, so but I mean, he goes and pulls a weapon on me, like, a knife, and then, here's what's even more messed up. You think him pulling a gun and then threatening to shoot me whenever I tell the manager is bad? Whenever I wanted to call corporate to report him, he told corporate that I am rogue and unable to be trusted, so that they blocked my number so that I couldn't make him lose his job. Now, it ended up that a, retired police officer caught him with his gun in the dishing area, which is just behind the counter. And so the veteran police officer, even though he's not allowed back there, he had just as much business disarming Danny as any reasonable American wanting to save the lives of thousands would. And, I mean, sure, my former employer and Danny were pissed at him, but, I mean, what are you gonna fucking do? Call the cops that he was back there? No, he just disarmed an armed assailant. What the fuck are you gonna do about that? Like, seriously. I'm gonna press charges. Over what? Danny having a gun that he's not even supposed to have in the store? Yeah, good luck. I wish you the sincerest of luck in that case, because you're not going to have any. It is going to be the worst case for you. But that was probably the worst experience I ever had to go through. And it's just why I just really don't. That's why I don't, mess around a whole lot with fast food chains for employment. Like, yeah, I could easily have a job, but then I have to deal with stress, and I'm not a big fan of that. I don't want to commit the rest of my life to possibly getting a heart attack at 19. Because facts being facts, that's not fair for me. So, yeah. I did have a good point I wanted to make on that Long John Silver's rant, but now I can't think of it. I'm just going to drop it before I get a heart attack, just remembering the traumatizing events I had to go through working there. And I'm just going to go ahead and stop this live stream and try to take a chill pill, because, I mean, I've done enough. Who said that? Gosh dang it, Bobby. Do I know this person? Let me see. Ha. Ha ha. Oh, now I know you. But yeah, I'm going to end this here because I need to get the hell off before I have a heart attack thinking about